Most employees now want to work in environments where they feel like they have the opportunity to show up as their full self.
When you embrace different perspectives, when you welcome diverse opinions, diverse life paths, that is good for the business.
When law firms take the time to build their cultures in the same way that they're encouraging their clients to, it makes them better able to service their clients and to deliver in a way that's real.
For the 8th consecutive year, women outnumber men in law schools across the nation. Yet this wave of change has not reached the shores of power. Women hold just 25% of seats at the table as board members and managing partners. But the tides are turning. Women in law are no longer meekly waiting for an invitation. They are boldly striking out, creating a future where success is defined on their own terms, and law firms fit into their lives, not the other way around. As this new generation of trailblazers rises, we stand with them, ready to amplify their voices and fuel the transformation. This is LawHer. I am Sonia Palmer, your host and VP of Operations at Rankings, the SEO agency supporting you in claiming your rightful place at the top. We're thrilled to present the third and final mini-series of Season 2, The Art of Negotiation. In this series, we explore negotiation not just as a professional skill, but as a life-changing art form. These trailblazers share how they advocate for justice in the courtroom and negotiate the lives they want outside of it. We'll uncover strategies for high-stakes settlements, techniques for navigating complex deals, and insights on balancing personal ambitions with professional demands. Let's meet today's guest. We're joined by Angela Reddock-Wright, a remarkable attorney whose journey embodies the principle that success and social responsibility go hand in hand. From her childhood experiences marching in picket lines to becoming a top-rated employment lawyer and mediator, Angela's story is a testament to the impact of values-driven leadership. For women in law seeking to make a difference, Angela's career offers invaluable insights. She's not just advising on workplace issues, she's actively creating healthier work environments through her roles as a mediator, investigator, and civic leader. What sets Angela apart is her firm belief that positive change starts at the top. She challenges law firms and businesses to practice what they preach, modeling the kind of work environments they advise their clients to create. Let's dive in.
I grew up in Birmingham. That's where my family is from, both of my parents' side. Although they're a short time, it really shaped who I am and kind of how I see the world. We were outside, we played, we made up games, but most importantly, especially growing up around both my maternal and paternal grandparents and great grandparents, believe it or not, it really shaped my value system and who I am and how I see the world. My maternal grandmother was a convalescent home worker, and it had to be age 5, 6, 7, where I was marching the picket lines with her. She and her coworkers, they were part of a labor union, and they were seeking better rights for themselves and working conditions and wages and so forth. And although I didn't quite understand what it was at that time, it's still imprinted in my memory that helped to shape, my desire to become a lawyer and now a mediator and to work, to help, restore justice in workplace environments.
Your family was part of this great migration. How did that experience of relocation at age 9 then impact your perspective on change and opportunity?
Right. Well, it was amazing. I mean, for me, moving to California, moving to Los Angeles meant, wow, we get to go to Disneyland all the time, or we get to go to the beach, or,
You're a
all of these
9-year-old,
new
yeah.
experiences. So at 9 years old, that's what it meant to me. Like, we're moving to this amazing place. Now that I'm, many years older and I reflect on my mom's reasons for moving us here, while Birmingham was idyllic in some place, it still very much, was a Jim Crow South and experiencing post Jim Crow South. So moving to California definitely created more opportunity, exposed me to things that perhaps I may not have been exposed to or as early on. We moved to Compton, California, which I also see as a great place to have grown up. The world has a certain perception of Compton and certain ideas of what Compton is. And certainly if you watch the movie, Straight out of Compton, which by the way, during the time period of that movie, I was an older child and teenager growing up during those times, but I watched the movie and I'm like, where was I? I did not see that part of Compton. I went to some of the best schools, and public schools in the area had teachers and principals that cared, that helped shape my life. My church, still to this day, my church that I grew up in is in Compton, and I still attend there every Sunday. So for me, Compton was a place of opportunity, a place where people had hopes and desires for their children and worked hard to help their children achieve their dreams. And so I certainly see myself as a product of Collegeville, which is a part of Birmingham, Alabama that I grew up in, and Terrence City called the Pike Shop, and then Compton, California. And I have fun memories of each of them and still spend time in each of those places.
You've mentioned that you believe in doing well by doing good and that you live by this practice. Can you share some specific examples of how this philosophy manifests in your legal career and your personal life?
Yes, that is definitely my motto of life. That is instilled in me from a very young age, where we are a family of service. We're always volunteering. We're always stepping up to support others in need. And so, as I have grown in my career, become what I would deem accomplished in my career, it hasn't been enough just to be successful, from a career perspective, but to be successful by making sure that at each stage of the way that I am giving back to the communities that help me. If someone asks, can they spend some time with me or speak with me about my career path, being very intentional about giving back in that way. Now as a mediator, for example, I spend a lot of time mentoring up and coming mediators, helping give them insights about how to develop and grow their careers, and very much committed to peer mediation programs as well, where we're seeing many programs like this develop in our school systems. And so participating in programs where we have the opportunity to help shape the next generation, not only of mediators, some may or may not go on to become professional mediators, but we all can be great problem solvers and good at conflict resolution and de-escalating conflict. And so I think those types of programs are really important to helping, raise a generation of people that are committed to problem solving and conflict resolution. So it's just in my DNA to give back and to make sure that, I'm helping, someone else have the opportunity to succeed.
Angela's commitment to social responsibility and civic engagement is truly inspiring. Despite the demanding nature of her profession, she emphasizes the importance of contributing to society beyond our professional roles. For Angela, this means being civically engaged, voting, encouraging others to vote, and inspiring young people to become involved in their communities. She believes in choosing causes that resonate with us personally, whether it's through financial contributions, volunteering, or serving on boards. Angela's wisdom gained through years of experience has driven her to shape social policies actively. Her impressive background includes running for Los Angeles City Council, serving on the LA Community College Board, and participating in numerous political and governing boards at state and local levels. This dedication to public service runs parallel to her legal career, showcasing how professionals can balance their careers with meaningful civic involvement. It's a testament to her belief that we all have a responsibility to contribute to the social fabric of our communities. Angela is as pointed in her dedication to public service as she is to her life mission, to create great and healthy workplaces. She explains how she came to identify her life's work.
I've been practicing law or an attorney for 28 years. The first 15 years, I was a litigator on employment matters, representing clients on both sides of the aisle in, wrongful termination, harassment, discrimination lawsuits. And then I went on for 10 years to open my own law firm and to do high profile, high end workplace and Title IX investigations, where I would go in if there's a complaint of harassment or discrimination, interview folks and reach findings as to whether there was a violation of some policy, a company policy or organizational policy around discrimination or harassment. And then 4 years ago, I went full time as a mediator, but 28 years in the thick of being involved in workplaces, whether it be representing clients, investigating internal workplace complaints, and now as a mediator. So I have met thousands, I would say now, of, employees, managers, supervisors, company organizational CEOs and organizational leaders. And I have seen, by virtue of the work that I do, the worst of workplaces, what happens when workplaces go bad and now they need someone to come in and help to resolve the issues. And so in that time of seeing and meeting so many people and hearing so many different stories, I certainly have seen what causes a workplace to go south. And there's usually a few factors. I believe that most workplaces are shaped by their leaders. I talk sometimes about this concept of leading from the top. And that means that the leaders are setting the tone, behind the stated mission and value statements, right? They're shaping the tone of what's really important to this workplace, what really drives us, what's our culture. And you can usually tell, even if a mission statement or vision statement says, oh, we're great and we're committed to all these great principles, you can usually tell if it's true by how the leaders lead and by how the leaders hold themselves accountable first to the mission and value statements, and then how they make sure that that is filled throughout the company or the organization. When I look for whether a workplace is healthy, meaning it's a place where people come to work, and I won't just say they're happy to work there, but they feel that it's a place that is committed to what it says it's going to do, is committed to its customers, its clients. It does the right thing when it comes to their customers and clients, but even more important to that, it does the right thing when it comes to its employees. So, if it shows that its employees are valued, that they come first, that, employees, when they say, if there's a problem, feel free to come forward, that when those employees do come forward, whether it be through HR, their manager, their boss, their hotline system, or what have you, that those employees, that their concerns are taken seriously, they're looked into, and they're not just brushed over under the rug, right? So that is like one example, but really it's an environment that's committed to its people and shows that in its daily interactions, in the way that it holds itself accountable to its people. So I look first at the leadership, and if the leadership is modeling that, to me, that's the first sign and indicator that environment is committed to being a good, healthy, thriving workplace. And then I look at, how employees respond to their leaders. And if they're responding in a way that shows respect and that shows, that they feel that they're in partnership with their leaders to deliver the products, to deliver the goods, to deliver the services, that's another sign. It really begins at the top. It really begins at modeling the culture after what you say, what the culture is all about, and making sure that that is instilled in the DNA and everything that organization does. I spend my days, dealing with the worst of situations. So when I have a chance to go in and speak to organizations or to help guide them through these kinds of principles, that is the most, fulfilling part of my job. Or even as a mediator now, when I help, an employer and an employee who are at extreme odds with each other. And by the time I see the situation, to help bring resolution to that situation, the employer and employee may not continue working together, but we've created a platform where they can move forward, learn from whatever caused the relationship to go sour, and hopefully move forward in a positive direction. So I know that was a lot, but that's what I mean. But a healthy organization is one that values its people and shows that in the everyday work and interactions it has with its people.
I like your commitment to mission statement, values, core values. When I work with businesses and they're trying to define their core values, there's this, well, here's what they are. And I'm looking at them and the people that I know, the leadership, that I'm like, are these really your core values? Or is this what you wish that they were, what you think that they're supposed to be? And there's so much relief in just allowing them to be themselves, like with the core values. Like, this is who you actually are. And then it all seems to line up.
Yes, no, that's so, so true. I totally agree with that.
So, if you're building a business from the ground up, what are the first steps that companies should take to make sure there's a positive work environment?
Certainly, building a company starts with establishing the mission statement, the value statement, the vision statement. But to your point, not just buzzwords, like really taking that time to say, who are we? Who do we want to be? What are our aspirational goals of who we want to be? It's a collective approach to making that determination. And then once that's done, putting the strategic plan and the elements in place to make sure that everything that your company does ties back to that mission statement, that vision statement, that value statement. Organizations that don't understand that real people come to work, whether it be in person or remotely, and that they're dealing with real everyday life issues, for employers to ignore that and think that people are just going to come to work, do the job, get a paycheck, and go home. Those employers, I won't say they're not going to survive, but they may not survive in a way where the day-to-day employment environment is functional in a good, positive way. So I think the employers that are going to excel in this new environment, this new economy, are those that understand, the whole person is showing up at work, and that they have to design plans and work opportunities and employment environments that really speak to the whole person, not only making sure they have, good job opportunities, promotional opportunities, equitable pay, work in places that, don't tolerate discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. But also, you've asked me questions about being involved socially, about giving back, et cetera. Most employees now want to work in environments where they feel like they have the opportunity to show up as their full self. So, giving them opportunities, so many hours a year to volunteer for causes that they're passionate about, creating training and development opportunities for them. Those are the kind of things that have to be put in place to create this environment where employees are first.
Yes. I think what a lot of companies and businesses miss is that that is a good thing for the business.
Yes,
That
yes.
when you embrace different perspectives, even if that perspective may have been negative or it may have been trying or difficult, when you embrace different perspectives, when you welcome diverse opinions, diverse life paths, that is good for the business. It makes a business more profitable. It can make it more marketable. It's not a con. I think there's a lot of talk about how, like, if you're going to support a whole person, that is somehow going to negatively impact the business. And to me, I see it completely the other way around. It's a good thing for the business, not just the person.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially, I mean, it goes without saying that the world is changing. The population of the world is changing. Also positions you to best serve the population of consumers that you exist to serve, and having those diverse perspectives, and realizing that, one idea is not always the only idea. There are multiple ways to skin a cat, right? So to have people at the table that can bring fresh thought, can bring innovative thought, can only, serve to help that business be better for its clients, its customers, its consumer base.
Yes, and you've written and you've talked a lot about the pandemic and how that has changed us forever, good and bad. But I do think that customer base that everyone was serving pre-COVID is not what it is today. It has expanded significantly. So I love your
Hmm.
point there about the customer base. The unique perspectives of your employees benefit a larger um, customer base. So
Customers and consumers are now holding the businesses that they do business with accountable to their social responsibility programs, right? A growing part of companies now is what they call an ESG division, or environmental sustainability governance division. And those divisions, as they have evolved, exist to make sure that they are the social conscious of that organization. And not because it's just a nice to do, but because customers, consumers, stockholders, they are stakeholders also, are holding these companies and organizations accountable to who they are, what they believe in, and literally saying, if you are not showing that you're committed to the greater good as a company, then I don't want to do business with you.
Angela's book, 7 Crucial Lessons from the Global Pandemic, introduces a thought-provoking framework for workplace success, the 4 E's and 3 D's. This formula emerged from her deep reflection on the profound changes brought about by the pandemic. The 4 E's, elevating human resources, engaging employees, supporting essential workers, and responding to employee protests and activism, address the human aspect of work that became so crucial during the crisis. The 3 D's, reimagining the daily commute, developing disaster preparedness plans, and discerning legal challenges, tackle the logistical and legal aspects that businesses need to navigate. As we emerged from the darkest days of the pandemic, Angela became a voice of caution against rushing back to business as usual. She recognized that employees had been fundamentally changed by their experiences, from personal losses to navigating childcare challenges and the sheer survival mentality that permeated many workplaces. Angela's insights remind us that the workplace landscape has shifted dramatically. Her framework provides a roadmap for organizations, including law firms, to adapt to this new reality. Let's hear how she envisions applying these lessons specifically within the legal profession.
So I see my book as sort of a love song to the workplace. The 4 E's, the 3 D's are all about the lessons that we need to learn and to be reminded of. And when it comes to law firms, and, I've worked at some of the best law firms in the country and ran my own law firm. A lot of times the law firm culture says, we represent our clients, especially in employment cases. We represent our clients. We tell them all the right things to do, not do, et cetera. But we are somehow exempt from that. We don't have to create great workplaces. We're a law firm. You just come, you do the work, and, you do whatever it takes to get the work done. It doesn't matter about culture. It doesn't matter about, making sure we create, healthy workplace for people. And of course, that's not all law firms. There are many, many law firms that make the list of great places to work, and they really are great places to work. But what I would say to law firms that, we are businesses also, we are employers also. And just as we advise our clients on doing the right things, it's important that we as law firms take a step back, think about how to create a great environment for our employees, that we elevate, empower human resources to help us in creating those great workplaces, that we create disaster preparedness plans. It can't just be about we just service our clients and we deliver great services for our clients. That, of course, is foremost and the most important thing. But we also have to take a step back and think about things like remote work and what does that look like. We have to take a step back and think about that the lawyers, the law clerks that work at our firms, the secretaries that work at our firms, the receptionists, all the people that make things happen, they have been through a traumatic set of experiences these last few years. So people are showing up to work, even if it's remote. They're showing up to work with a lot on their plates, a lot on their shoulders, a lot on their minds. And even law firms have to understand that and, bring on the team of people, whether it's consultants or internal HR, other, organizational development folks, to help them get it right and to start to create the cultures that allow them to be thriving law firms that will exist, for many years to come, and that are better equipped to service their clients, because their clients are working with people who are also real people, everyday people with, traumatic issues at the forefront. When law firms take the time to build their cultures in the same way that they're encouraging their clients to, it makes them better able to service their clients, better able to empathize and sympathize empathize with their clients and to deliver in a way that's real, that's not just legalese, but that is also real life and reflects real life.
What gives you the greatest hope and optimism for the future of women in the legal industry?
I'm excited because I feel that we're in an age where women are speaking up, our men are speaking up on behalf of women, and we're starting to see, workplace cultures and laws and policies being redesigned to better support women in the workplace. I think we still have a ways to go, especially when we compare, some of the workplace policies that we see, for example, in Europe. But I think we're on our way, and there's certainly, more of us who are speaking up and owning our place and being unapologetic about, advocating for the rights of women, of people of color, and other, traditionally disenfranchised people in the law and in the workplace. So I think the future is bright. And certainly the folks coming out of law school, they're different breed. They are not taking it. They are standing up. They're showing us that there's another way to live life. And so whether we like it or don't like it, they for sure are going to change how we do business as lawyers.
Angela's journey reminds us that doing well and doing good aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, they're intrinsically linked in today's business landscape. By recognizing that employees bring their whole selves to work, complete with personal challenges and life experiences, law firms can create environments that not only support their staff, but also enhance their ability to serve clients effectively. The pandemic has accelerated the need for workplaces to adapt, and law firms are no exception. The future clearly belongs to those who can balance professional excellence with empathy, flexibility, and a commitment to social responsibility. Remember, as women in law, we have the power to shape this future. Whether you're a new associate or a managing partner, you can advocate for policies that support the whole person, champion diversity of thought, and push for alignment between stated values and actual practices. As we navigate our careers, let's take Angela's lessons to heart. Let's strive to create workplaces where people feel valued, where social responsibility is more than just a buzzword, and where we can truly do well by doing good. If you found this content insightful, inspiring, or it just made you smile, please share this episode with a trailblazer in your life. For more about Angela, check out our show notes. And while you're there, please leave us a review or a 5-star rating. It really helps others discover the show. And I will see you next week on LawHer, where we'll shed light on how another of the brightest and boldest women in the legal industry climbed to the top of her field. Until next time, stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep making waves in the legal industry. You've got this.